She's joined starting as a new business development rep and now leads a team of over 40 in 4 years. So I think it's a phenomenal example of career trajectory. I'm really excited having her speak tonight, and thanks for being a part of it. You're up. Thank you.
What an intro. It's actually quite funny because I was exactly that person. I did a 4-year business degree and wanted to go into marketing. So I was exactly that person. So today I want to talk about, one, how I've been able to actually accelerate my own career. In 4 years, moving from a new business development rep into a general manager leading a team of 40 and the largest growing revenue market for Receipt Bank has been incredibly enlightening and exciting. But I think I want to share, what I've been able to achieve and how I've been able to do that. Second of all, why I'm really passionate about sharing this and embedding this in the people that I mentor, coach, and the teams that I lead, and the DNA of our sales culture. And then thirdly, hopefully giving you some tools and examples of how we actually embed that in the foundations on our kind of day-to-day sales teams. So first of all, how did I achieve this kind of growth? I think the 2 key things for me is understanding my why. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's why you give a shit. I think realistically, it's important for everyone to realize that you do not have to go to work every day, and it's really important to know that, because what I say to the team all the time is you should want to come into work. Appreciate that not every Monday you're going to want to get up and go into the office, but you should want to know what you're impacting, how you're impacting, and why you're doing it. And so one of the key things for me is being able to impact people and influence change and drive growth. And so I know if I'm not getting that from a role, then I'm not being fulfilled and I'm not bringing my best self. So I think understanding your why is really important. And the second thing is being able to constantly have this level of accelerated learning. And what I mean by that is being able to see every opportunity as a learning development opportunity. So really thinking about, what can I learn from this person? How can I share strengths? How can I gain insights from other people? How do I actually take that on board, implement it into my day-to-day, reflect on what that means, and do it all again? Because those are the kind of things that enable you to accelerate your growth and your development really, really quickly. So second thing is why I'm passionate about spreading the word and embedding this in my DNA of the sales team and the people that I manage is, I think that this is really important because in a super hyper growth company like Receipt Bank, where we're growing 100% year on year, you can't just be focused on the numbers. Yes, the numbers are important, and yes, the numbers are what's going to get your growth. But I think being able to engage your employees and actually being able to have a team of really engaged and people who, again, give a shit, it's incredible to work alongside, and it's incredible to work with. And so I'm incredibly passionate about, one, seeing people unlock their why and really engage with why they're coming to work and really see that accelerated learning, but also seeing the impacts on the company, because again, those kind of conversations, those kind of teams breed results. So I guess the last thing is, how do we do it? I think step one is building a really diverse team. I think one of the biggest mistakes in kind of going to that stereotypical, sales team and sales culture is actually hiring a group of the same people with the same background, the same mindset, and the same opinion. Because guess what? You're going to get the same results. And in a really hyper-growth company, what breeds innovation is diversity. And so I really look for people with the right mindset and the right attitude, and people who can bring different opinions. Because what we're really relying on is having a diverse team to upskill each other. And actually working alongside people who can offer a different opinion is incredibly beneficial to your growth. The second thing is obviously hiring. So having a really, really solid hiring process is key. So by the time people join Receipt Bank, they've already gone through a process of showing self-reflection, having a mini coaching session, and actually implementing that feedback. So we know by the time that they join our team that they are able to engage in that depth of understanding and the engagement of that accelerated learning, because that's what we're relying on for people to come in and supersonic speed our growth. Thirdly, I think it's about actually committing to actually being able to provide the support. So many times I've interviewed people or had people join Receipt Bank and they've said, oh, I joined this other company, they promised me X, Y, Z, and I got in, there was no support, no training, no development. And it's a two-way street. If you're going to want to get the good people in and you want to hire great people, you have to commit to providing them the development opportunities that they need to excel. And I think that is really, really key, is actually committing from your side as a company that you are going to provide that development for them. And so how do you do this? So we have a kind of few key models. And again, I'm going back to the idea that Numbers are not everything. I think mindset and attitude and activity and input breed results. And so we really work on in the first kind of couple of weeks is actually understanding that all those three kind of levels are equally as important. And so if you're not getting results, it's not the end of the world. Let's really look at your activity, your input, and then let's look at the mindset and the attitude. Because those three things are the things that are going to breed success. And then I think the second thing that we do is we have this thing called the mastery calculator. And what it does is it enables people to think outside of their core role. And so when you're thinking about having a highly engaged team who are focused on their why, being able to become a well-rounded salesperson or a well-rounded leader is not always, again, about the results. It's really about engaging with how do you give and receive feedback? What is your impact on the team? How do you contribute through others? And really being able to kind of expand people's way of thinking about how their development takes place and giving them tools and structure to be able to actually objectively look at how they're progressing is key for us. And the last thing I want to talk about is making sure that you have that ongoing feedback loop, because for a hyper-growth company, you are expecting people to deliver results, be okay with change, embrace change, be a part of it, experiment, fail, try, do it again, all while delivering really, really high results. And that is an unnatural way to be. And so I think you have to provide the tools and the structure to allow people to engage in that constant reflection. So we do things like monthly and quarterly retrospectives as a team to think about what's working, what's not, what can we change, what can we continue, what can we stop, what can we start, and getting the team to actually own what that looks like. Because I think, again, by being able to reflect on what isn't working, you're giving people the vulnerability and the kind of transparency to put their hand up and say, right, this isn't working, but what are we going to do about it? And having that kind of environment and breeding that kind of culture where everyone knows why they're coming to work, everyone knows why they're doing it, what they're looking to achieve, engaging with feedback, reflecting, understanding that numbers isn't everything, and really looking to upskill from the team that you're working alongside and your peers is truly what I believe has made Receipt Bank incredibly successful, has driven our growth, but also has driven people like me to develop in a really, really accelerated way. And I think a fast growth company and fast growing people go hand in hand. And you really can't have one without the other. Thank you.